Smack. Welcome to Super Smack. The Super Rugby podcast from the fans, for the fans. Round 6 complete.
Finished. Good round.
Good round. Couple of goodies.
Yeah, some big battles to talk about
Some
there.
great battles. Chiefs still top of the table.
Yeah, but mate, only just.
We've had some squeaky games.
Jesus, you snuck home by the seat of your pants there, didn't you?
Oh, well, it was a very, very good first half.
You got
and a top of the table team playing for the first half.
And do you think, I mean, you'd mentioned to me earlier today that maybe the Chiefs got a little bit arrogant. But speaking of arrogant, we were at Hotel Ponsonby having a drink.
Here we go.
You just came up to me and you went, 24 points in 24 minutes.
It was a point a minute for the first half. It was crazy.
It was. That is impressive. But, and, you know, where were Moana? But then, man, game of two halves. They came back and you guys didn't score till,
Did
3
the
minutes
Chiefs
before
go
the
to
final
sleep,
whistle.
or did the Moana team actually just pull their fingers out and show us what they're capable of doing?
Definitely a combination of both. I reckon Moana are kind of similar to the Highlanders in that respect, where they're great with their backs against the wall for sure. But you guys fell asleep somewhat.
Well, I mean there were some
that's not
silky
normal.
tries, though. There were some lovely little plays in that first half.
Because would you say you've been a pretty dominant second half team?
Well, usually
you have mostly for the.
I would have thought so. A lot of especially those first few games, we've been like, maybe sort of even keeled through the first half, and then it's usually where we run away with it in the second half, and especially when we bring on that beast
the
of the
super
bench.
subs, and that did see you home in the end. Let's be honest.
Tokiaho really saved it
He's
for us.
good, isn't he?
He's good. He's lovely.
Lovely
I
big
love
man.
having him in our team.
You lovely big
Even
man.
his name, Samasoni Tokiaho.
Just rolls off the
It really does.
back of the upper palate.
And you know what? For all those commentators out there that struggle with, non-Pākehā names,
do they now?
really know how to say his name.
Yeah, do they now? They're pretty good
They
these
are
days.
pretty
eh?
good, yeah,
I mean, as
actually.
you should be. Nisbo maybe. No, even Nisbo gives it.
Yeah, he gives it a good
he
old
gives
whack.
it a good Nisbo go.
He gives it a good Nisgo.
Yeah, they must have got a rev up at half time though, because they were a different team. They were a different team, and the Chiefs would have expected it. But that was Tana must have.
Well, this is it. Like, I was thinking, there are a few players, coaches out there that you wouldn't want to get told off by. I reckon Tana is one of those people. Imagine,
You reckon he's a ball breaker?
like, and we've talked about this earlier. Like, I don't think he's one of those coaches that would just go off at his players and like scream at them and tell them that they're useless.
He's quite calm.
I think he would play the strategy of, I'm not angry, I'm disappointed.
Mate, I don't even think he'd say anything. I just think he'd look away.
Just silence.
Just look away.
Oh, that would cut deep.
Turn, walk, and then walk out the door without inviting them to sort of the usual after drinks that they'd have after the game.
What the Pukekohe club rooms?
Yeah, he might go, guys, we're gonna head down to Pukekohe RFC after this, and he just would have said nothing, and they go, he's fucked off. And if you guys want to handle at that club, we better play out of our skin the next 40 minutes.
It bloody worked.
Yeah,
Man, they came out.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Sensational.
Have you ever had any like teacher or coach in your lifetime in your childhood that you've been terrified of? That could give you the look,
Well, there was. I've talked previously on this podcast about Steve Nightingale, who told his son Shannon to put some fucking snow
put
on
some
it.
fucking snow on it, mate.
He was pretty terrifying. He was definitely commanded it. But I haven't had a scary one. But I had this funny odd teacher of mine, an English teacher, John Lee, at Upper Hutt College, and
Not
he
the
was
actor.
no, not Johnny Lee. Good God,
Right.
no. And he would do this thing. He thought that he could sort of banter with some of the guys because he was also our rugby coach as well as the English teacher.
So he had a bit of a shorthand with you guys.
He'd stand on his head. He'd do handstands in class, but he'd also go.
What?
He'd also just go like this. He'd go, Gareth, and he'd just point to his bicep and flex it. And
What
just
was
show
that
it to
for?
me.
Was that a threat?
I don't know.
Or was he going to use
I think
it
he was
against
just
you?
like, I've got bigger biceps than you, and I was like, you're like a 45-year-old man. Of course you do.
How old were you at this point?
Oh, I don't know, 15, I guess.
Did it encourage you to get in the gym, mate?
Well, yeah, you can see the difference it's made.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We had this old school teacher called Max Heinemann.
Oh, geez.
And
that's
he
not
was one
good.
of those teachers that had the sandals, the short shorts, the sandals and the socks that went up to his knee folded over.
We had Jerry Brockhouse,
And, mate,
same thing.
He had the loudest voice. He could whistle from across the field, and yet he could see. He had sharp eyes. He'd see if you had your sandalbacks down from the other side of the field.
Yeah.
Oi, Joe!
Yeah.
Put your bloody sandalbacks up.
And you'd run to him like an obedient dog.
Oh, yeah. And he'd make you do push-ups. So if you did something wrong or he caught you swearing, he's like, you want to say fuck 10 push-ups. He was really brutal.
I do like those savage teachers. They're not afraid to give it a go.
And
We
you-
probably need a bit more of
You
that.
know what I found out afterwards?
What?
He was the kindest man. He used to take
course he
people
was.
out fishing and stuff. He was a
My-
lovely man.
My history teacher fell off a ladder, paralysed for life. Anyway, I'm terrible. I shouldn't laugh about that. That's
Why
awful.
would you bring that up?
I don't know. It's my only other sort of memory of that
Oh.
troubling time. Anyway, the Chiefs did well to hang on.
Yes,
just
they
hang
did.
on.
They did. They hung on.
Retain top of the table, and you're coming into a bye.
Yeah, we're coming into a bye, which is kind of good. I think we need the R&R, rest a few weary souls. And you know what?
Yeah.
Like everyone, you get to this sort of stage of the season and you pick up a couple of small little injuries. But
Yeah.
there was one that I just get a little bit pissed off at this fantasy thing because,
Do ya?
well, there should be some sort of warning system.
Oh, actually, yes.
The amount of times that I've gone to tune it, you kind of rock up at 7:03 ready to watch the teams run out, and then all of a sudden you notice that one of your key fantasy picks isn't on the paddock. Where's the alert system that
there's no admin, is there?
Tupou wasn't going to be playing?
They're not paying some admin to. If it was an app,
They should be.
If it was an app,
$10
it'd
million,
send you, it would
mate.
send you. Yeah, for $10 million, you
I
should
want
get an
an
alert
alert.
on your phone,
I want an alert.
like a tsunami warning. me, just goes off. Albie's not playing.
Yeah.
Get to higher ground.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, Tupou leaving the field or not turning up for the Chiefs this week. Really took a dent to my fantasy.
I've got
points.
about 4 zeros, I think,
Oh, God.
that's a shocker. 4 zeros in one round.
That is a shocker, mate.
It was not good.
There's no coming back from that. You're never going to reach old
Yeah.
Bulldog doing that kind of
Well,
stuff.
Bulldog's actually fallen down the ranks.
Has he?
Old Dane. I looked today, actually, and I went, where the fuck is he?
Where
He
is
was
he?
in number 6. Oh, way down.
Come
I was
on,
still
Bulldog.
scrolling.
You're really holding up our little tournament there, mate.
Yeah,
so you need
he's-
to get back on the back
He's
on the
still
horse.
a lot higher than us, so he
I
probably
know.
feels all right. He's probably like 30th or something.
I mean, there's some people. There's some
30,000.
people in our little, what do you call it?
league,
In
mate.
our little league that have really given up.
Yeah, but come on, fantasy.
Yeah,
Get
come
yourselves
on.
an
Yeah,
alert system.
Give an alert system.
So next week with the bye, you know who is probably going to go to the top of the table.
Well, no, they're 4 points. They're 4 points shy, and
Yeah.
they've got a game in hand. So they'd have to get a bonus point win to get top of the table because we've got a clear points differential advantage.
But
over them.
thus begins the downfall
I
of the
know,
mighty
yeah.
Waikato
Yeah.
Chiefs.
And we'll get into that
Oh, dear,
Crusaders
mate.
game soon.
Mm.
But yeah, I think a 35-50 scoreline is probably pretty. It makes the Chiefs look a lot better than what they were in that second half. That's for sure.
Another epic game. Well, was it epic?
What's the Highlanders Reds?
Yeah, it wasn't epic, was it?
Well,
I was just trying to intro it in a sort of a nice way.
there was some interesting little mini battles within that game,
There were.
and another game that I think the Highlanders will feel like they let slip.
That seems to be a common theme with the Highlanders, doesn't it? Well,
Yeah.
we had it, guys. I'm doing Ryan O'Kane's voice just for the sake of it. We had it, guys, and it slipped away from us right at the last minute.
Tava Navo was a beast again,
He was
playing on the wing.
interesting, because
Still good though. He's
Where's
still
he?
everywhere.
I know he was. I mean, like we said last week, he's 5 Highlanders in one man. But where's he? What's he angling himself for? Like, where's he looking to
You know what?
play himself for? Representative selection later on.
Maybe he's been listening to the podcast and all the chat about who's going to
I
be
bet he has.
loose forward. Maybe he wants a number 7 caller.
As a Lucy.
Mate, he is better
Mate,
at the breakdown than
mate.
most of the loose forwards in this
Oh,
competition.
get off the
He is
grass.
Insane at the breakdown. He's
Get-
over it. He's always there.
Well, yeah, I mean, he is good, but mate, we've got. Yeah, I mean, you're obviously not very serious that he's ever going to play 7, but you think he could.
I reckon we give him a 7 jersey, he'd give
All
it
right.
a good
As a
crack.
challenge to Jamie Joseph, please play
Tava
Tavatavanawa at 7 next week and see what he can do.
I reckon he'd
Who's
smoke
at
it.
7 now? Hugh Renton, old Uncle Hugh, or
Yeah.
someone like that.
Huge Renton.
You can see it from the sideline.
Um,
They were out muscled though, mate.
Yep, they were.
Ultimately, that second half especially, they put them under so much pressure, the Reds, that those tries at the end were essentially just soft little walkovers.
yes, yeah,
And
little
then
tap over.
they kind of had them up front too. And then when Ethan de Groot was a naughty little boy,
Wasn't he?
he was
Got sent
coming in
off.
from the side there. Then it all just, they couldn't quite string it together. But well done to the Reds and Les Kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great name,
He
Les
he
Kiss.
gave them a Les Kiss goodnight, didn't he? The old Highlanders. And I reckon he's going to be the Wallabies coach too.
What's Les?
My money's on him.
What's Les short for?
Leslie.
Oh.
You can be called Leslie as a boy, I think.
Okay, great.
Yeah. I
Middle
guess.
middle name being?
No.
Oh.
What?
Tangi
French for like good. Amazing.
Tangito was at it again.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yes.
He didn't get rewarded for those 2 effort. And mate, we had we put up a little vid on the social parts last week about how Tangito was one of the quickest out there, and there was some
controversy.
Absolutely, there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of people trying to put us in our place. But mate, there was a couple of arguments for him to be on that list, at the top of it at least.
He's still pretty much up there. Everybody's saying quietly though, well not quietly, pretty loudly, that Michael Manson is the other Highlanders winger is actually the secretly, and I say secretly fastest because I ain't seen him like put on the gas quite like Tangito, but Tangito looks like he's got a very complete game.
Yeah,
but man, he was going again. It's disappointing that he was disallowed twice.
I know. Well, the first one, he stepped out, and then the second one was a little knock on or something, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. But
unfortunate.
Bloody good tries, and just like out and out gas tries too, which was, he's just good. You know, there's a little battle at halfback.
Yeah.
Between Kalani Thomas and Nathan Hasty. I hadn't really known much about those two boys before watching this game, and that was a great little battle.
Yeah, it was good. Hasty's good.
Yeah.
He's good, actually.
Well, he's
another
third
little
string,
name.
right? Because
after,
I think on selection he was third string.
He's been playing most of the games, though, last 3 or 4.
It got me thinking about the nines, and it's a bloody good time to be a halfback in Super Rugby because they're so well protected.
Well, you could have a go.
Mate, I could. I was a good 9.
Yeah,
great 9. Great
on
on
stature.
Yeah, good little sniping runs.
Get low, centre of gravity.
But they like VIPs at the bloody breakdown. They don't get touched. No one's allowed to cut. There's like a little silk rope around them.
Yeah, true.
So they can do a perfectly executed box kick or a lovely little pass, a lovely little sniping run. They've got all the room in the world.
It's pretty competitive though out there at the moment. So I mean, I guess good time to be a 9, but also you've got to be good.
They're all putting their hand up, and there's a long list. I've got a little list here for you.
Okay. Here we go. Rate. Is this an order?
No particular order, but these are the players that I reckon are on the fringe putting their hand up.
Okay.
Preston.
Yeah.
Hotham.
Sure.
Cortez Ratama. Knock from the Blues. Xavier Rowe. Fakatava when he comes back from injury. He's there and thereabouts, man. He's been in the All Black mix before.
Well, he has, yeah.
I mean, there's the obvious Cam Roygaard as a starter, right?
Of course.
Yeah. And then you've got, you could even throw Christie into the mix if you really want
all
slow ball.
Real contention.
Well, I don't say...
You just went through and named every halfback in the competition.
Mate, I actually think all of them have been like singled out as playing really well and playing good games. Like usually you wouldn't know all of those players.
No, that's true. And I mean, the biggest test is when they get into that black jersey, and obviously some of them don't do so well. But Knock, I do love Knock actually. Knock.
What do you like about him?
I like his name.
Yeah, his name's great.
He's playing well, and I just don't like Christie that much. So
yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for him, but I don't know many people that do. He scored a lovely wee sniping try.
Lovely wee sniping try.
Yeah.
He can do a bit, but it was just slow again last night. And against the Crusaders, you can't be doing that.
No.
You got to up the tempo of the game, and they sort of went the other way.
Just that last little point on the Highlanders Reds game.
Yeah.
Did you see Damon Murphy yell at the Water Boys for the Reds?
What? Oh,
well,
yes.
They came on at some point, and it was like a little bit time wasty. It's a classic Aussie move. They're just trying to slow the ball game, slow the game down a little bit so their boys could get a little.
You actually
rest.
think they were doing that?
Absolutely. They got caught red-handed.
And they went, sorry,
Damon
Mr.
Murphy yelled at them, "Get off.
Get off the field.
Get off now. Get off." And they sort of turned around and were like, what?
Caught.
At me?
Caught smoking. Caught smoking behind the PE shed.
Exactly. They got caught pashing.
Well,
maybe.
That'd be weird.
What? Did you not pash behind the technology block was the spot
I guess
for me.
you could. Yeah, and I guess with your mate would be fine if that's what you're into. You want to experiment a bit.
All good relationships start with friendship, mate.
Behind the sheds?
Well, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're
open, share a Subway or something.
Okay, like a sandwich or a train?
The sandwich. We don't have a Subway in New Zealand.
That's true.
Yet. Bring on 2026.
I can't wait.
Actually looks quite good.
It's going to open things up for Auckland, I tell you that.
Well done, Auckland. You're a big city now.
Maybe it'll make them better at rugby.
It's not looking so good thus far.
There was a beautiful Australian battle The Waratahs Brumbies. And I think
Ding dong.
this is why the Super Rugby competition has an onus on derbies because, mate,
Yeah.
the passion.
They were fired up, eh?
That was an
Yeah.
absolutely brutal exchange. We
Some-
went to the TMO like 5-6 times
Some
for
huge
some
hits.
massive hits.
Icky oh, far
Yes,
out.
yes.
He and a guy like twice his size too, and he just put the shoulder in. It was good.
At times it was like a wrestling match.
Well, quite literally in one
There was a
situation.
perfectly executed back-to-back suplex.
Yeah. And the guy actually, it was so well executed that it looked like they'd sort of both rehearsed it.
Yeah.
It was like, hang on, are you colluding with him?
But Tom
crowd?
Hooper was he got carded for it, and like they kind of didn't know what he did wrong. They were kind of like, "You can't do that," and then they were like, "Oh, it's he went over 90 degrees. He didn't. He went 180 degrees.
So is that, but that's still 90, isn't it?
Well, he went
It's
over. He doubled it.
So should there be a law
red card.
that if you double it, it just reverses it? No, it just reverses it. You go, well done.
Yeah, you get a yellow card for every 90 degrees.
Oh,
so it should have been
goes to
straight red.
I'd prefer it if it cancelled it out and everyone goes, that was actually a great move, guys. Like, really well done.
So you'd have to bury him 90 degrees into the ground to get carded again.
Well, that's
Or bounce it back up.
Or bounce it back up. Yeah, use the spring of the beautiful turf that they have there and just. I think there needs to be some congratulations, made. But yeah, and Finn Hurley had a bit of an off game.
Oh yeah,
Too much. But do you reckon a dodgy trout?
trout. Yeah, maybe
Dodgy
it was.
trout on the weekend with his.
I mean, it's okay to
they had
eat.
a bye.
It's okay to eat smoked trout that's a little bit old, but maybe not a couple of weeks.
He's been fishing and he ain't cooked it properly.
Yeah, well, he
That's
hasn't
what's
been down
happened.
in Gore for a while, and he's come straight back down to Mum's after a couple of games, and he's just laid right into that
He's put
trout
it
that
on
he's had in
ice.
the back of the fridge.
And then he's got pissed and he forgot about it and then went, oh, it's still good.
You reckon-
Well, it's still good.
Probably put it in a toasty or something. He's like, I'll heat it up, it'll be all right.
toast? Oh,
A smoked fish
a
and cheese
trout
toasted sandwich.
toasty.
Yeah. Why not?
Really?
I'd do that. wouldn't
Actually, I guess you could have a smoked fish toasty. I don't think I've ever seen that in my life.
Haven't
Can
you?
you?
Well, you do
Oh,
like
no,
a
maybe
tuna
you can.
melt.
Oh, yeah.
Is that kind of the same?
I guess that's is it the same?
It's preserved fish, yeah. I mean, I think it sounds delicious.
I think Finn Hurley could do with buying a little more preserved fish straight out of the can, to be honest.
Yeah, I think he needs to lay off that old
Don't muck
trout.
around with your bowels.
Yeah, and there were a few across the board this round. There were a few little handling errors which really crept into a few of the games.
That might have been the Highlanders upsetting against the Hurricanes too, to be honest, was the handling errors. So need to look at that.
It slipped into
Jamie?
the whole competition.
They might just need to play in a place of a little bit more standing than Forsyth Bar. Maybe it's just those sort of students in the crowd aren't really giving them like the energy they need. Maybe they need to come up into a respectable stadium and just go, play in front of a crowd that wants to see some really high caliber rugby.
You don't like Forsyth Bar?
Never been.
just ripping it.
Just
to shit.
ripping into it, go and never been. Probably never. No, I'll go at some point.
I like
I'll
the
never go.
indoor side of it. Like I like that it's an indoor stadium. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, necessary in Dunedin, you freeze your tits
Fucking
off.
freezing, yeah. Game of the round. We named it last week, and I think it probably was.
Yes, it was game of the round, and we were there at Eden Park, the Blues versus the Crusaders, and I think, well, we had predictions.
Yeah.
But I also think we could say that we had hopes.
Well-
we had not just predictions, but we had hopes that the Blues would, on home soil, punish the Crusaders for the naughtiness of the last 2 decades.
They've been threatening the Blues. They have been.
They've been threatening at times.
They've been a
and
bit
terribly
shit,
inconsistent.
and what they did last week against the Chiefs, we thought, here they are. They've turned up and they've got some momentum going into a Crusaders battle. They're playing them at home. It's a true test of your mettle against the good Crusaders team.
Petafeta was playing well. They scored a beautiful try.
Yeah,
It was,
and he
it
had
was
a-
looking really nice. Like it was looking
that's
good.
their first 10 minutes. They almost scored a second. And it was a big opportunity for Petafeta at 10.
And then
Barrett out, Plummer on the bench.
I know.
First start.
And then the big red wolf got a sniff.
A little sniff, didn't it?
Got a little sniff.
And boy, did they get under that skin.
And they dug right into that carcass.
Did you see
they left
when-
it bare by the end?
Did you see when Lachlan McWonnell got yellow carded?
Mm. He just gave.
There was a penalty. I think it might have been a scrum penalty or something, and that there was a bit of back and forth, a bit of banter between the tight forwards, and Sevu Reece, while this was all going on, the referee had made the mark. Sevu Reece went for a quick tap.
As he's wont to do.
And Lachlan McDonald came up and just pushed him over because he was pissed off.
Because he's like a petulant child.
It was a rookie little schoolboy error.
Yeah, you're not going to score.
Yeah.
I'm sick of you doing
Stuff
shit
you,
to us.
Sevu.
But they looked dominant, mate. They were putting the ball in all the right parts of the field. They were marshalling them around, getting the territory, the possession. It was a shame.
And the Crusaders were doing what Crusaders do. They lure you in with this little bit of vulnerability, and then like a good old high school bully, they just laugh in your face.
And they trick you. And they take your sandwich and they eat it in front of you.
Yeah.
But leave you the crusts in a humiliating way.
Yeah.
Not so that you're not fully malnourished.
Yeah, you still got a little bit of hope and food.
But then you have to go home and your mum's like, what happened? And you have to tell her and it's all embarrassing. And they've done it again. Yeah. And they're looking... Yeah,
and
it's
they're
looking
they're beating you up because they're just a bit bigger and stronger than you. It's not because they're not pulling a knife or anything.
That's something that the Highlanders might do. And then they just get it taken off them. Well, that diffused it
like a shiv made out of a sharpened kicking tee or something.
God's sakes. But you're right. They did look like the bigger, better bullying team like they are, and it's like, wow, on paper we all know that they've got that ability, and they're certainly showing it. So we need to watch out, man.
Yeah,
you need to watch out. The Hurricanes, we'll just have our lovely little season and we'll carry on. And happiness, actually. Ignorance is bliss, Well,
that brings us probably to a lovely little treat that we've got this week.
We do have a very special treat for you all.
The first for our podcast here on Super Smack, we have a guest coming into us, and it's a very good time for him to join us because of this Crusaders victory.
How convenient.
Yeah, not so great for us, but he's been licking his lips and over the last couple of days. Had a few little text messages through from him.
I bet you did.
Yeah, getting very excited. I thought he might cancel if the Crusaders lost, but he definitely didn't. He's a bit of a household name in New Zealand. Oh, he's joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have a lovely welcome to a generic stock music theme tune? No, there's no royalties here, but the lovely Jason Gunn is coming to us from
Gunn.
Kia ora.
Christchurch.
Kia ora.
Kia ora,
I've
Jace.
stopped it, actually. I didn't think about the royalties, sorry. Look, kia ora.
That's good.
Kia ora. And
That is good. What is that? Can you name that? Actually, don't name it because then we might have to pay for it.
I will not mention the Conquest of Paradise. Forget it. Didn't
that's
happen.
what it is. That's what you used to run out to, of course.
Oh, yeah.
1492.
The Crusaders.
That's before they changed the sword to the two dildos, the black and white dildos.
Unbelievable. At least we've got something to cheer about. I will say this though. I will take note. You've used that term just recently in your chat, calling the Crusaders the high school bullies. I mean, it's just, I don't know what you're talking about. We are, that's not where we would position ourselves. I believe we are everybody's friend, reliable friend at high school that you can always turn to, who will always be there for you. There's not a bully in the Crusaders pack. Never has been.
Spoken like a true one-eyed Crusaders supporter.
And like a true bully.
Yeah.
who thinks they were helping you. I was just helping you eat your lunch.
That's why
Look,
we're here.
I'm here to help. Shut up. I'm here to help. I'm trying to help you.
Hey, Jace, seriously though, congratulations. Yes. You're back at it again.
Yes. Yeah,
after a shocker last year.
Yeah.
How did that go down in your household?
Well, in our household, it went down all right because we could just change channels. But, as I was quite embarrassed and disappointed, actually, in the Crusaders region because a lot of people turned angrily. They turned on the coach and the team. And it's just like, I'm very passionate about rugby, but equally, I'm more passionate about my children. So I've got other priorities I can turn my time to. Yeah. And it's sort of just, to me, when we turned on our team and our coach, it just showed there's a few people down my way that possibly need to get out a bit more often. So, look, I don't know what's happened. I think we're coming back though. And I'm not gonna lie, I think we're timing our
well
run
and truly back
quite nicely. Yeah.
Yes.
You are second to the table on the table now, and it looks a bit ominous with the current form that you're in. But Jace, we'll get to the Crusaders soon. I just wanted to ask you personally, did you ever don a pair of rugby boots in your time?
Yeah.
Well. Let me take you back to when I was in the fourth form. I think year 10 is what the newbies call it, but let's just stick with the
that's
original.
year 10 for the listeners out there.
10. We don't talk about year 10. It's called the fourth form. People deal with it. So it was the fourth form, and I'm a footballer and a hockey player, but I thought I'll try my hand at rugby, and I had a game. And after 10 minutes, I was like, I don't even know where I'm supposed to be standing. What am I supposed to be doing here? And then a very good friend of mine, Lee, he took me out off the ball, and I just thought enough. And apparently not disciplined for that action. So I thought, this is not a game I want a part of. So I actually just walked off the field. I mean, I wasn't subbed off. I just thought, if this is acceptable, I don't want a part of it. Okay, so I just literally walked off
it was
down
actually
to 14
really
men.
nothing to do with your skills or your prowess whatsoever. You just didn't care for the game.
Well, I just thought, if this behaviour of taking out what could have been a star player off the ball was deemed to be acceptable, I thought, what sort of brain-dead sport is this? Like, I've got a football field over there with my name on it, or a hockey field even. And I thought, that's where I will go back to. So after a quality 10 minutes on the rugby field, I guess we'll never know what could have been.
We'll never know. And you would have been a halfback, no doubt, Jace, surely.
No, see, looking back now, I wish I could have had that pack of bigger bodies to hide behind, but sadly I was summer in the back line. I couldn't even tell you because I was all over the place trying to find out where I was supposed to be. Sometimes I was more on their side than our side because no idea. So I think it's best for everybody that the boots were hung up very early, very quickly.
Yeah.
Did you have the gift of the gab back then as well? Because I know we know you do now, but like because you would have had a bit of chatter on the field maybe too.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I believe that's why Lee took me out, actually. I believe that's why Lee took me out, because he thought, I'll shut him up. And I remember the tackle really winded me, And then, of course, when you're on the ground, a few little psh, psh, psh goes in just to really shut the gun up. And, I could have been lippy, but we just never got to see that happen.
That's a great name to yell from the sideline. Gun. Get him, gun. It's great.
Gunny! Gunny! Mate, get him, Gunny!
Gunny? Do you have Gunny?
I was a bit of Gunny. Yeah. Sadly, no. You see, on my leavers jacket, it says, and I'll let you tell you, possibly one of the first monitors at Christchurch Boys High School to have drama on his pocket. Now, monitors only usually had first 15 rugby if you're at Christchurch Boys High School.
Yeah,
Every All Black and Crusader, that went through Christchurch Boys High, and there was a few of them, had rugby, but this gun guy had drama. Now, what the hell is drama when it's at home? The hell is that?
No, you shouldn't. No. Well, we're glad you did drama, Jace. I think you've done obviously a lot more successfully than you would have ever at rugby, and I think we can unequibly say that. So well done, mate.
Yes,
well done.
I think. Yeah,
hey,
I think so.
I was reading the news on the way in, Jace, and a bit of a hero of Christchurch rugby and All Black rugby left us today. You want to have a little chat about
Grizz Wiley. Rest in peace. Oh, let's just chat about this. Grizz Wiley. I mean, in fact, earlier you were talking about the scariest coaches that have coached you. I would suggest Grizz Wiley, a man of few words but many grunts. I would suggest he would be quite a scary. I was never coached by Grizz, but I imagine he could have been quite scary because I think he really would have just told you what to do and where to put it, and in no uncertain terms. So, but sadly, look, he played many games for Canterbury. He was the coach during that sort of early '80s era when the Ranfurly Shield really sat in Christchurch.
Yeah.
Coached the All Blacks through some great games as well, great success there. And I believe, and I could be wrong, also the face of wet and forget there. I believe at some stage.
Wet and forget the driveway stuff.
I believe very much the face of wet and forget. Yes.
Do you reckon he did the VOs as well? Because that's a good wicket.
No, I imagine. I mean, yeah, I imagine many a person in this country purchased Wet and Forget not because of the Wet and Forget, but because Grizz told them so.
Yeah, I remember the ads being on between the rugby. Yeah, so it's
and
a
you
lot
know
of
what? That's actually a really high compliment because I don't know if there's many. I mean, I know that you've been working closely with a few rugby players to help them improve their public speaking, but there wouldn't be many rugby players out there that would be able to don a Wet and Forget commercial and also get behind the mic to do the VO. Talent.
Yeah,
true talent.
No, and what I like also is that they didn't say to Grizz, just we need you to change the way you speak. Well, no one had the balls to tell Grizz that. So he did, he did, talked about the Wet and Forget, and bloody spray it on, bloody walk away, and So he was just Grizz was Grizz. And I loved that. Don't you change the Grizz. Yeah. You leave the Grizz as it is.
When your driveway's fucked, wet it and then forget it.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, I think the least you can do if you can't get along to the funeral is to get down to your local store and buy a tub of Wet and Forget.
Yeah. Maybe there's some royalties there for the family. I don't know.
And possibly just before you do that, just Google to make sure we have got this correct. So I would hate you to line the pockets of the Wet and Forget people if, in fact, his product was, in fact, something else. So we'll Google it, and if he was the Wet and Forget man, I think that's a nice tip of the hat. It is. Yeah. Lovely.
Put that onto the listener. We're not going to do it. So if you're wanting to donate to Wet and Forget, just make sure you Google first. Make sure Grizz was the
and rest in peace, because a great man. Yep. And
great man for both.
Condolences to his family and to the Canterbury region.
Absolutely.
Now, Jace, we need to move on to the Super Rugby chat. And I know you've got your red on there, your red and black. Very proudly. He's got a hat on, and we all know I've been in that room that you're in there, Jace, and it's not cold. So I know that you're sweating buckets underneath that little hat there. So
and they're pretty sweaty, these tops, eh? These rugby tops are
there's nothing natural.
There's nothing natural in there.
Well, but you'll notice I've not gone for the skin tight. I got a slightly larger size up, so it's got a bit of breathing room in there. So it's good.
Yeah. Me and Gareth are noticing that these jerseys just get a little bit tighter each year.
As the years go by.
Last year's one just is a little bit tight, so you just go up a size.
And there is a way to avoid that, which is just to simply go up a size. But I think there's a certain denial that we're in, that we're still
I think there's an underlying message going on that you may potentially be ignoring, but that's okay. That's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what we're not ignoring is that you are a definite Crusaders fan. Can you tell us what me and Gareth have shared our early fond memories of Super Rugby. What's your earliest memory of Super Rugby and the Crusaders?
Well, when it started, of course, I think when it started, I mean, you're looking at the Blues, aren't you? And that's your Toffee Pop Carlos Spencer era. So the reason I say that, it was there was a lot of hatred between, I suggest, Crusaders and Blues early on. That was when there was a lot of egos involved, and it really was when I think the hatred of Canterbury and Auckland was really at its peak.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, maybe we get out more often these days. I mean, sometimes I could care less. But, it's still there a little bit, but I don't believe anything like at the start when she was pretty nasty. It was pretty nasty back then.
Yeah, and Toffee Pop sales in Christchurch probably went down. Yeah. Because of that.
Everyone was reaching for the Mallow Puffs and the Squiggles.
Everyone, I'll take a Tim Tam, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
And I'll dip it in my tea while you turn off the silence the ads when that comes on.
Absolutely.
Carlos,
I agree.
He gave it, he's the one, Carlos is the one that gave it the big old arm up in Christchurch, isn't he?
Yeah,
when the Blues won in that last minute. That must have been painful.
I mean, I think you see him and that era of Auckland, and this is in the minds of a Crusaders fan. It was everything that was their older, not even brother. We weren't that close. That older cousin that came round from time to time, and you thought, piss off. Had the fancy car. Yeah. They used to drink drinks you'd never heard of, and they just used to go, oh, do you guys not have Wi-Fi yet? Oh, we've got Wi-Fi and all. It's like, you shut your mouth.
Sparkling water, what?
Yeah, what is that about?
What's that?
Yeah, so, there was just an element of that back then. It's like, when you think about it, we used to give Auckland arseholes because they were like, oh, the town of the flat whites. It's like, because obviously Christchurch was still drinking instant coffee at the time.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, at your best, you might have had a bowl latte or something like that.
Oh my God! Of course, full bowl latte.
It's a very popular drink back in the day. The bowl latte
and a cranberry and brie panini.
Yeah, I feel like every woman from about 40 to 60 ordered a cranberry and brie and a bowl latte. My mum certainly didn't. She probably still does. It's so weird. You don't need to drink that much milk.
Why do your hands need to be hot? Why can't you pick up a handle? Why are you holding a bowl?
And that's a good point.
And
that's possibly why we have such an outbreak of irritable bowel syndrome now, I'd suggest.
Well,
I mean, I link it to those days.
Oh, it was. Who was your favourite player, Jace? Like, who was the person that you're like, yeah, that's my guy?
Oh, I mean, who would? Oh, crikey,
heaps.
Oh, do you have one? Yeah,
do you have one?
Okay. I don't know.
You had so many because it's Canterbury.
It is Canterbury, and we're not the sort of people that grandstand a single play, you see, because we're not like that. We're all for one. See, that was the other thing, you see. I always found, and again, I will just get back on the bandwagon. I always found that, the Auckland teams always had a couple of people who just thought they were all that in a bag of chips. But the Crusaders were like zero dickheads. We didn't buy into this. There was no celebrity status in Canterbury. We're all in this together, None of our boys were doing coffee pop commercials. I'll let that go in a minute.
You had Dan Carter with the bend on. Or no, was it bend on? No.
No, Dan Carter did the jockey.
Oh, jockey.
He did the jockeys.
He was actually, he was probably Canterbury's first, like, big star, wasn't he? DC, surely.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, you had Todd Blackadder as well. That was a good little reign there. And Razor himself, he was in that early Crusaders team in the 90s, wasn't he?
Yeah,
and
then, it was with Richie, I think, just before he took over.
Yeah, Richie. And then you've got, some of the mighty leaders like, your Kieran Reid. He was just an absolute legend.
Lovely.
So,
yeah. Well, you probably met half these people, Jace, in your line of work,
I am lucky. Well, hang on. I'll get Kieran. Actually, Kieran joins me now live from... G'day. No. Look, I am lucky, actually. And look, Ra will tell you this. It's amazing. I get remarkably starstruck if I meet anyone of television or sports, remarkably starstruck. And so occasionally I've done work with, some ABs, but also more so some of the Crusaders. And I've walked in there and I'm just like, g'day, mate, how are you? And I'm on the phone to Louis. Louis, you won't believe who I've just met. He's like, Dad, put the phone down. But not a good look, Dad.
And they go back and they're like, Jace was a bit weird.
Yeah. No, I actually think they'd probably go back and go, who was that guy? I don't even know who I am. Who's that dick?
Never.
Who's that guy? So,
Never,
no.
Oh, I love that. Oh, you know what? Well, it's just weird to be talking about the Crusaders at length.
Yeah,
it just
look
feels,
at you.
It feels grotty.
I'm feeling a bit
gotta
sick.
say.
Yeah, a little bit sick.
A little bit. Yeah. Talk about irritable bowel. It is flaring up right now.
Now we've brought up Lou a couple of times so far, but you've become a little bit of. I mean, Lou, he's a talented wee rugby player himself. What's it been like being a sideline dad out there in Canterbury?
It's not. Well, I think wherever you are, being a sideline mum or dad, it's quite tough. I'm not going to lie. There's Jace that people go, this is good old Jace, and then there's sideline Jace, and sideline Jace, he's an angry man. And I don't take any shit. Like I don't like people yelling random shit out. I don't like it. Like I'm just like, hey mate, just what a ridiculous comment. Not funny, okay, not clever. So you're adding nothing. Just shut up or go home, mate. You're just adding. Shut up or go home. But of course, I can't say that because I'm the smallest person on the field or out there watching. Yeah. So I get quite wound up. There was a stage when Louis played first 15 rugby, and I had to. Louis instructed me to wear noise cancelling headphones because I was just getting too wound up. So
wow, did you get in any fights? Any
no,
borderline?
Not. Well, look at me. I'll always end up second best. So I'm not. I mean,
I think
I might say something, and then run off.
Though, Jace, like you probably be able to talk your way into a couple of little altercations, but very good at talking your way out of them as well.
Yes,
that's my superpower.
Good point.
Yeah, I can't imagine anyone really wanting to strike you, Jace. You're not people would never surely. Oh, okay. You are so
hell's
wrong.
bells. I can. I've got more people blocked on Facebook than you. there's some hate out there for the gun.
Oh,
Well, no,
Jason,
and
I
tell
really
you
don't like your messaging. I don't like your messaging.
Yeah, mate, come on. No, well, of course, and then there's the other really weird thing is every now and then you'd get something like, I go to one of Louis' games, and there's some complete arsehole on the sideline, and he's trying to get in Louis' head about what a dick Louis' dad is. That would be me, by the way. And I think Louis, who's much smarter, he's a much better man than I am. And he's just looking at this person, just pissing himself, just going, like, why? Maybe you'd like to have that chat with my father, who's just over there, because I'm actually busy playing rugby. I don't really give an ass. It's like, So I'm always bemused at these people who want to turn up and occasionally give my son a bit of grief about who his father is. I mean, granted, that is, his father can be a bit of a dick, but...
Yeah, par for the course. So it gets quite fiery down there on the Christchurch sidelines there.
Wow, yeah, sounds like it.
They do take it very seriously, and hence why they are very good at rugby,
Did you ever have any mischief on the sidelines of your games, G?
Yeah, I mean, we had some terrible things in Upper Hutt. I remember playing at Aotea College in Porirua, and we got a last-minute drop goal, and all the supporters chased the ref and mobbed him in his car.
What?
No, I'm not joking. They mobbed him, and everyone had to stop it, and all our supporters had to leave. There is actually some terrible stuff that goes on in rugby on the sidelines, and it needs to stop now.
Mate, I didn't get anything in the fourth 15.
Well, no one turned up to the game.
Not even my own parents were there, I don't think.
Oh,
well, no, just because they were busy. There was a bit of gardening to do, I think.
They'd rather do that than watch their son play in the fourth. Actually, yeah, fair enough.
I think they turned up to a lot of my games, actually, but I also played cricket, and I played rep cricket, and they hated it. They couldn't be on the sidelines.
My brother actively dissuades my nephew from playing. He's not allowed to play cricket because he said I don't want to spend that long on the sideline.
It is quite a big commitment.
Your T20.
And let's be honest, it's all over, isn't it? I mean, one ball, your son or daughter's bowled, that's it. You were probably looking down at the paper when, and you look up and you think, well, that's done.
It's a weird mix of wanting them to be good, but also wanting them to be really shit, so they get bowled out straight away. You don't want them to watch them fielding at square leg for fucking 4 hours, do you? Good God. Oh, paint dry.
No. Though I suggest with all of this, you see, like especially with rugby, I think the ref should have a third card. You want your red, you want your yellow, then you've got to have like a brown. And it's like, and if you're being a bit of a shit on the sideline, you get given the brown, which means you get given the marching orders. And embarrassingly so, you're not allowed to come to the next couple of games. It's like
that's a bloody good idea, actually. So it's a brown card for a bad supporter.
Yeah, just because, let's be honest, for a moment of seriousness, if you are that person, what the hell is wrong with you? And you're just ruining it for everybody. It's like, well, it's the one day of the week I can go, I love watching this. And then along comes old them, and you think, actually, I might go watch in the car.
Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. Well, a brown
Give
card
them the brown card.
I reckon that would be embarrassing.
Brown card. It just has a little bit of paints, and you just smear it on their face a little bit, and they walk in shame down to the car.
That's it.
Absolutely.
See you later, mate.
Yep.
Oh, look at him. He's being brown carded. Look at him.
Or you could
brown
give them
carded.
a massive brown card like they give sort of charity checks to people at things, and he has to carry it back to the car, and everyone's like, you were a bastard, weren't you? You were a little shit.
Jace, I think you're going to help us with a couple of our awards today, which is going to be fun.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so let's get into that.
Let's get into some. What's our first one? He still hasn't memorised these panels.
Wanker of the Week.
Ooh. Okay, starting big.
I'll go first.
Okay.
Tom Hooper. We've already brought him up.
Yeah.
Absolute dickhead doing an Olympic wrestling move on the field. But it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
what was he thinking? It was off the ball too. There were two players into the back line.
Again, he must have just been having a bit of fun. He thought. I mean, he got carded, didn't he?
Yeah, but like I said, they didn't know what he was going to get carded for because no one had ever done it.
There's no need to be doing that, and he was just getting a bit upset.
Just get a bit pissed off at the breakdown.
Yeah, he was losing. They were losing, right, at the time?
Probably.
Because there's no excuse for doing it if you're winning. That's just silly.
There's a lot of mongrel in that game, though.
My wanker of the week is the Crusaders.
Oh, here we go.
And I'm only saying this because they can't be doing this, man. They can't be coming into Super Rugby 2025 and just showing us up like this with their superlative style of play. It's just, look, it's wonderful to watch, but
it is bullshit.
and the reason I'm sort of saying it on behalf of Ra, going, You got to give him a chance to win this trophy. It's been a long time. Please don't pip him in the final again. Jace, have a word to... Surely, you know, get into some match fixing. There's got to be something you can do to stop the onslaught.
Yeah, it won't cost you that much, mate. Just a couple of match fixings, it would be lovely for us. That's what we might need to beat this team that's obviously on a little bit of a run right now.
Yeah, but look, they're also... I mean, they must be lovely people, and we love to see people do well, but I just don't want it to happen anymore, thanks.
Right. Okay.
Who have you got for Wanker of the Week, Jace?
Well, I've actually, on that note, you know what I've actually got for Wanker of the Week? I'll take it and I'll add to it. It's actually Wankers of the Week. Because what I've got going on here is I would like to call out the Wankers of the Week are this time last year when the Crusaders were having a bit of a shocker, right? They piled into him. They piled into our coach, didn't they? Drop him. Unbelievable. Absolutely. Yeah. Petty's got to go. Where the hell are they now, eh? Where the hell are they now?
Yeah,
they shut up shop and they just go quiet and they're back on the team bus. They are the Wankers of the Week. Exactly right.
Yep, we don't need that. And poor Rob Penny. I mean, he's doing great stuff. So who knows what went wrong, but they've certainly
and the proof is in the pudding, man. The proof is in the pudding.
Yes,
he's absolutely turned the side around from pretty dismal display last year, and there's always going to be a little bit of teething. So yeah, he took his transition year and he's turned it into a bloody cracking start to this season.
Big losses. We lost some big names last year, and you think, well, here we go. And there was a few other things going. A new coach, way you go. But, we didn't tolerate it, and we just got stuck in. No. So,
very serious people down there at your rugby. All right.
Player of the day.
Get on you, mate. I mean, it pains me to say this.
Does it?
Yeah. My player of the day, and it's a little controversial because I know there's a bit of hate out there. David Harvili.
Aha!
Yep.
And you know what? He is taking the captain's armband off Scooter, who's been a bit quiet this year, if I'm being honest. And he's just picked it up and run with it. He's leading from the front. He's doing he's making some great plays.
I think everyone was wondering. I mean, he gets, talking to about your Crusaders fans, I'm not sure if they're the only ones responsible, but he gets a lot of shit. A lot of shit in the public sphere, David Havili, for being not like, they don't rate him. They're saying he never should have been an All Black 12. I mean, it's like he is showing them he's going to be in the ABs.
All Blacks is a different.
Going to put him in.
That's a different discussion. But for Super Rugby, for the Crusaders, he's been epic. He's been a bit of glue in there, man. He's been really great, and he's in almost every play, even if it's just a little pass or a little bit of like a good hit. He's just everywhere. He's great.
Look, I agree. And if I might just jump in here and just switch the order around a bit, he is my player of the player of the day, player of the week as well.
Nice.
Simply because when you think about it, what you've got, the leadership, as you've mentioned, outstanding. But then you've got what some are calling the triple treat. Look at the lines he's running. Look at the kicking. And I'll also throw in a fourth skill right there.
Yeah.
Look at the talk after the match. When they throw a microphone in his face, he's a good chatter.
You rate
he can
him,
answer the questions.
He spins a good yarn after the game.
He's good. He's not just doing the good on you,
and Scooter could probably do with a little bit of that, couldn't he?
A little bit of a spruce up.
Yeah, he's very eloquent, David. Yeah.
David is. So that's 4 from 4 for me.
Yeah,
4 from 4.
I agree with that. That's really good.
You got anything to add there?
Mine's not David, but now I'm thinking I might change my mind, but I don't want to make it 3 out of 3 for him. So I was going with Caleb Tangito.
Yeah.
He's great. Again, he got 2 disallowed tries, but he's a shining light for the Highlanders in an otherwise dark ocean. Oh. And I think he's great, and he's
exciting.
Yeah, there were a few. He is exciting. I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, he is exciting. Right. He's no David Havili, but he's exciting. You're right.
He's not. Yeah, look.
Most improved player.
Again, I don't know why I've done this to myself.
Oh, jeez, you really.
Hello.
Wananu, the hooker, who's replaced Cody Taylor down at the Crusaders.
Wow. What are you, mate?
I know.
Mate, what are you doing?
It's filthy. I've made an error.
Just because Jace is on the show, you're sucking up to Jace or something. Because this is.
I mean, it might look like that, but
this is strange behaviour.
You can't argue with it.
They're your mortal enemies.
Yeah.
They are. But they weren't playing us this week.
Are you well?
No. Well, there you go.
I don't know. I just feel like I would usually give a lot more awards to the Chiefs, but
They didn't deserve it.
I don't think they did.
Plain and simple. He did play well though.
Mate,
so
he was
fantastic.
possessed. He was brutal at the breakdown. He was doing some great work all over the park. Doing, like filling in Cody Taylor's shoes is pretty massive. He's a great player.
Yeah. Big boots. Well, yeah. Okay, let's not talk too much more about the Crusaders because it's really becoming a Christchurch-based podcast at this point.
Yeah.
And no, we don't
Sounds
want that.
great. It's never sounded so good, the show.
You can really hear the fresh water dripping from the Alps. My most improved is Kalani Thomas.
Yes, the halfback.
Yeah,
Yep.
amazing. He had a great game, and Tate McDermott not being there, I thought he did really, really well, and probably hugely responsible for
a little upset.
Yeah, for a little upset.
Is it an upset?
Good on him.
So it's the Highlanders, isn't it?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, yeah. They beat the Waratahs, though, didn't they?
They did.
So it's all just topsy-turvy. No, it's probably not a huge upset, but I don't want to take away from Kalani by saying that. I want to say congratulations, mate, and keep it up.
We've got some exciting games coming up this week. Jace, you guys have got we got Moana Pacifica making your way. Is Artie going to be fit for that one, you reckon?
Well, I think he's just got to... I actually don't know. Don't know
either. What's wrong with him? Bellyache?
No, well, no.
Sore shoulder?
He had big bowl latte and now he's
been on the paninis.
No, I don't reckon he drinks dairy. He's just got a sore hammy or something.
Hammy?
I think he had tight hammies in one of the previous games.
Oh, yeah.
So I assume it's something to do with that.
Tight hammies. Did he ever get that down at the Hurricanes, mate?
No, I mean, no, he didn't need to. There was a certain freedom he had when he played, that you do when you play in Wellington. A pride that you carry. I'm not saying he doesn't have pride at Moana, but
he is in Albany now.
Yeah.
Hey, but let's be honest. If Ardie Savia is not playing because he's injured, I mean, that's a serious injury. I mean, his pain threshold's high, isn't it? His pain threshold's high.
Oh,
so if he's not playing, that's equivalent to someone else dying, basically.
Yeah. They wouldn't have a choice. You're right. He must be very seriously injured. Well, we should find that out.
But you think you've got that one, Jess? You got that one sewn up? The Moana game down in Christchurch? You reckon you've got that one signed, sealed, and delivered?
I think so, but of course you've got to be very careful, don't you? Because it's the old. You come off a big win, don't you? And then you just want to make sure that we just leave that behind and go. As much as that was good, let's get back into this. But I don't think our boys will have a problem with that. I think the Chiefs
they've done you a favour by showing how good the Moana Pacifica team can be in the second half of our game. So they won't be taking them lightly.
Wouldn't it be lovely? But yes, I agree with you, Jace. I don't think it's going to happen.
It wouldn't
happen.
Maybe if Ardie Savia is there, they'll just go up another level again.
I mean, that actually hopefully will be a great game. But yes, unfortunately, it's going to put the Crusaders potentially at the top of the table.
Highland, maybe. We'll talk about that next week. If we don't need to deal with that right now. Okay, let's not speak.
Nah.
Highlanders are away in Canberra with the Brumbies. That'll be a big test for them.
Yes.
Coming off a dirty loss.
Yeah, that's hard because they've got two Aussie games in a row now. So that'll be three, and they've needed to win the one at home. So, boys, good luck.
Reds force in Brisbane. Yeah. Watch the highlights.
Oh, and we've actually also got to say...
I'm joking.
We've also got to say apologies. The Force and the Drua are actually about to play any moment now in Perth.
I mean, I'm all for an afternoon game, but I don't need an 8 p.m. game on a Sunday night.
Not when you're putting on a roast and you've got to get back home.
Yes,
sorry, guys. It's nothing to do with the fact that we don't like what you're doing on the rugby field. We've just got things to do, family commitments, like you said earlier, Jace. Family first.
Family first, yeah. We're not all rugby. We're
not the political party or the family first, but
No, I hear what you're saying. Yeah. What you're sometimes saying to your partner is, look, I'm going to watch something on a Friday night and maybe a Saturday night, but I think if you say you're watching something Sunday night, I think 3 nights is just that one too many.
It's family time on Sunday.
It's been difficult even just getting the 2 nights in, really, with your partner. They're sort of going, why? Oh, I've got a podcast. I've got a podcast now, babe. No one listens to it. Oh,
yes.
Hey.
Yeah, how many listeners have you got? Hey, Hurricanes are coming off a bye. Do you reckon they've been doing some... what do you think they've been doing in the off week?
At home, so...
What's the off week been for the Hurricanes?
I just think they've been reflecting on the wonderful win against the Highlanders and maybe also putting their brains together and working out a way to to really bounce Wellington back, as a city. I think the city council has just been a bit lackluster lately, and I reckon they called them in and went, boys, what do you reckon? Probably not many ideas, I'd say, were floating around at that meeting. But that's what in my mind, that's what they've been doing in the week off. A pointless exercise. I don't know where I was going with that.
Can I just say this, Gareth, as a Crusader fan? This is me speaking only. I'm not speaking for any other Crusaders fans, but I would dearly love to see the Hurricanes just do well.
Thanks,
I
James.
really would. Always been a big fan, and I just think, come on, I don't. If we can't, I'd be happy if they did. There, I've said it.
Thank you very much.
What
heard it here first.
What the hell is going on here?
If he wasn't going for the Crusaders,
This is
Jason Gunn
bullshit.
would be going for the mighty Hurricanes.
The
James,
Hurricanes?
that means a lot.
You're going to choose the Hurricanes?
Well, I mean, I would go. No,
offended. I'm offended.
Well, no,
I'm personally offended. We're
if,
top
you,
of the
if
table,
you're going to
mate.
delve into it, if we're going to rank
please
it,
delve
and
into it.
Please, I believe if the Crusaders can't, obviously the Highlanders must. But then if the Highlanders can't, coming in at hot number 3, I would go the Hurricanes.
So
Thank
you're
you very
really just
much.
moving your way up the country geographically.
Pretty much so, yes.
I love it.
Pretty much.
Thank
You
But-
know
God
what?
for our positioning.
I love you both, but stuff the Hurricanes and stuff the Crusaders. The Chiefs are going for
See?
the win this year. We're all in now. That's
Wow.
it.
And that's
We're going
Chiefs
for it.
talk, isn't it? Right there.
Yeah,
that's
that is.
Chiefs
Oh,
talk
yeah.
right there.
That's the Chiefs talks that's seen them not do so well in the last couple of years. So, okay. All right.
Hey, Jace, thank you so much
Thanks, mate.
for coming on, mate. It's been a bloody pleasure having
You're a
you
legend.
here. And we needed to get a Crusader voice on here at some point. Oh, yeah,
Did
I
you?
don't know why.
Did you?
Did we have
Did
to
you
start
though?
with it?
I think we just had to get it out of the way.
Yeah, rip off the Band-Aid. It is. Oh, God.
But beautiful that you joined us, mate.
Yeah.
We couldn't have wished for a better guest. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate.
Oh, look, thanks, guys. I don't know if any of this, of me being on the show, will actually go to air, but that's fine. I appreciate that. And that's, you'll probably edit your way around this and insert someone from a different region. But I just want to say I'm loving the podcast, loving the show.
mate.
I understand the commitment it takes to get
Yes.
this going every week. You're doing great. Thanks for your knowledge. Thanks for the laughs. Bloody good show.
Thank you so much.
You're legend. Thanks heaps,
mate.
Jace.
That's it for this week, guys.
That's
Join
us.
us for round 7. There's a few exciting games. Please tune in on the social pipes.
And if you're going to a local game of rugby, be a good supporter on the sideline,
yeah,
okay?
too right. Learn something from Jace.
Yeah.
If
Don't
worst
get
comes to
brown
worst-
carded.
Don't get brown carded. And if worst comes to worst, chuck on those noise cancelling headphones.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.